with that out of the way, let's go ahead talk about Mike McCarthy and the Dallas Cowboys. So this was reported yesterday while I was doing my live segments, or like a little bit before, so I couldn't really properly prepare for a segment like this. So that's why I waited until today to sort of talk about that news and why this and that took place. So as we know, this was very surprising to me because the Dallas Cowboys, they rejected Chicago's offer to interview Mike McCarthy. So after they rejected that, I assumed that Dallas had intentions on keeping Mike McCarthy as the head coach for Dallas for a little bit longer. So what on earth happened? Like, why all of a sudden now they just decide to part ways after rejecting a head coaching deal? Like, it can't be because they just felt like it, because like you don't really deny another team from interviewing your head coach if you don't have intentions of keeping him in the future, right? Like, that just doesn't, even for the Dallas Cowboys, that wouldn't make any sense. But so from what I've heard and from what I've been able to muster, because we don't really have that much information in regards to this move and why they're deciding to part ways. But there were some reports that were saying that they already had the amount of money constructed. The biggest problem between the two sides was negotiating how long that contract would last for. They could not think of a year. So that's very odd how they could think of the number and how much they were planning on paying him annually, but they could not agree with how long they wanted to keep him as the head coach. They could not agree on that, at least according to some of the sources, and that's sort of that's the reason why this ended up falling out and why both sides ultimately decided to part ways. So very odd, but not really that surprising given how the Cowboys, they mess up in a lot of things. But see, this sad Dallas fan right here, this sad Cowboy, is not a representation of the Dallas fans, but rather a representation of me, because I am going to miss Mike McCarthy as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, because he almost always seems to just have some of the best play calling at the best times if you're a Giants fan like me. I didn't like him beating us 24/7, but one thing I did enjoy was the Cowboys beating themselves in every single postseason game that they've been a part of with Mike McCarthy and, of course, with Dak Prescott at the helm. It's just, I am so distraught. I am super sad that now Mike McCarthy is no longer going to be the head coach, because this improves Dallas's chances on winning. Most likely, because, McCarthy, he's had several playoff games where he's just obviously he's been the head coach for the Cowboys, so we know there's a lot of disappointment with that, but he was also the head coach for the Green Bay Packers. Now, he did win one time with the Packers, but he also ended up losing when Aaron Rodgers was going on one of the best MVP runs we've ever seen, and he also ended up blowing a game. We all remember that Packers matchup against the Seahawks, where the Seahawks played about as awful as humanely possible, and they were still able to come back late in the fourth quarter. We remember that game. It was a beautiful game. But what exactly, other than, making fun of McCarthy and his coaching, what is next for Dallas? Who are they planning on hiring? Who are they planning on bringing in? We really have no idea as of right now, but my speculation, I think that they're obviously going to try and bring somebody in who has worked for the organization already. Jerry Jones, he tends to lean in favor of those people who used to work with him before. He likes to keep he likes to keep the inner circle a little bit. He doesn't like to expand on it all that much. So some options that come to mind are Cliff Kingsbury, the Washington Commanders offensive coordinator. Jerry Jones, he's likely been, rather familiar with Cliff Kingsbury before. He's a former NFL head coach and is currently doing strong work as the offensive coordinator. We all know his job with Jaden Daniels is nothing short of impressive. And maybe they wouldn't mind grabbing a division rival coach for themselves. Another option, and I think a much more likely option, is going to be Kellen Moore, the Eagles offensive coordinator. As we know, there's probably in the market right now, there's probably no other coach other than Kellen Moore who is more connected to Dallas than he is. He played quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys before, and he was also a quarterback coach for Dallas and served as the team's offensive coordinator after 1 year with Justin Herbert and the Chargers in 2023. Moore was thriving with the Eagles in 2024 as well. So it would make sense that Dallas would try and would try and give this man a head coaching job because he already has experience working with Dallas. And usually you'd want to have coaches that have coached your team before. You would it's the same thing with Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions. I mean, he played for the Lions before, so it makes sense how they wouldn't mind putting him at the head coaching job and giving him that head coaching job. And obviously, with his success in turning Saquon Barkley into one of the best running backs in the entire world, this makes him a heavy favorite in that department. There's also Joe Brady, the Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator, and I mean, he's 35 years old, but he has 4 years of experience as an NFL offensive coordinator, including consecutive seasons of having a top 10 scoring offense in Buffalo with Josh Allen. He's not really a name that would grab headlines, but his track record is full of nothing but success. And Brady is probably not going to want to cost as much to hire given his age. He probably won't be as expensive, and also his experience relative to the going rate for NFL head coaching contracts. So that could be an option. Another option is Aaron Glenn, the Lions defensive coordinator. And Aaron Glenn, he's had one of the better resumes this coaching cycle, and he also has other connections with the Cowboys. He played 2 seasons at corner for Dallas in 2005 and 2006 under Bill Parcells. He also molded the Lions' 2024 unit into a top 10 scoring defense despite numerous injuries, and he also ended up helping out the Pro Bowl edge rusher in Aiden Hutchinson develop in Week 6 against the Cowboys and develop over the years as a player. There's also Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator, who is an option on the table as well. But again, I think the most likely option for Dallas to go ahead and pick up is Kellen Moore from Philadelphia. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you guys think this was a good move for Dallas? Who would you like to see being Dallas's head coach? Which coach do you think is the best option? Things like that. But we are out of time in this first segment, so now we're going to go ahead and go into the second segment where I talk about the Vikings going up against the Rams and the conclusion of that game and sort of my thought process. So I'll be right back after the short break. Be sure to stay tuned.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, I'm losing shit. A stupid myth, you choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift. Oh.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the